How busy has Mainstrike been lately? How has your summer 2023 been?
23, we didn't really do that much because we're not an active band anymore. We just play reunion shows. So we only played this one because Robert asked us to play the Refuse Fest because there was connections from the past with some other bands, and we thought it was a cool thing to do, to play one last show here in Berlin for the fest. So the idea of the reunion started like 5 years ago, and then the whole COVID came between, and that slowed everything down. And right now, 5 years later, we think it's enough. It's been good, and that's it basically. So we're not that active anymore.
Yeah, what did spark the original reunion in 2019?
It all kind of came together because I was at a friend's. We had a barbecue, and there was the guitar player of Reaching Forward, who is now in No Turning Back, and Martijn from No Turning Back is always putting up this big festival in Holland, Sound of Revolution. And Doug said, like, can we play with Reaching Forward, was asked, and they were not into it. And then out of a joke, I said, oh, maybe Mainstrike can play. And he was like, okay, let's. And I was just joking. He called Martijn, and he said, yeah, that would be great. So and then that time I was in a transition with my personal life, and I was really getting active again, and that kind of suited to play those songs again. And also with the drummer, before I had this discussion, wouldn't it be great to just one more time play these songs again? And so it actually came together, and it worked out great. And then there were some plans after that, but yeah, with the whole COVID, and then a lot of shit happened, and I think it's okay because this whole reunion thing now is as long as the band back in the 90s existed. So maybe it's time to start something new. We'll see.
Okay, during the reunion or after 2019, did you feel the urge to write new music, or did you actually write something new?
I wrote some lyrics again, and for other bands. So yeah, that's still something on my mind. I'm not that great talker or philosopher to talk, but when I have a lot of ideas and expressions in my mind. So for me, it's good to write it down and to release that into music. So, and that's what I think is really great for me being in a hardcore band, is to release those feelings and ideas I have. And with the right music as a vehicle to, how do you say, the lyrics should fit the music. And when that's in a good combination, and that it blows everything away for me. So that's hardcore, I think.
Yeah, talking about things on your mind, what are the things on your mind in 2023? What are if we can get a bit political, what are the issues that are on top of your mind?
What fears me is that the whole society, and I see it everywhere in the world, governments and people are starting to be so conservative again. I mean, women rights, there was 50 years of fighting to get abortion rights, same wages, same chances, and now they're cutting the right to abortion again. Against gay people, there was a big fight for the right to marriage, and now they cut that down. That's really disgusts me and doesn't give that much hope for the future. I think that's one of the things. And also like the war in Ukraine, I don't know what we're getting sucked into, and I think the NATO is playing out the war against Russia on the back of Ukraine, and yeah, there's so much going on, and it's so big. But yeah, and I'm just so small to change or to. But that's on my mind lately. And also when I think about my daughters, two daughters, one is 10, one is 13. In what world will they grow up? So when you ask me what's on your mind, that's basically on my mind.
Yeah, let's go to music and maybe we've been or mentioned the 90s. So maybe you could pick a couple of songs that are like special for you from your catalog and tell a bit about backstories for those songs.
Wow, there's so many. That my wife asked me the same question actually. Are you gonna do the reunion? Are you still behind those lyrics? But I think a lot of those lyrics I wrote at that time. Some are more important to me now and more real to me now than I ever wrote them. I mean, when you're young, it's really easy to have dreams and say, okay, I want to change. But now, 20 years later, looking yourself in the mirror and you think, am I really the person I pictured myself 20 years ago? Have I become that? And that's with songs with Will We Learn? I really realized, okay, and the song Break the Cycle. And I thought, yeah, I'm again caught up in the cycle, but I want to get out of that. So that's really a few songs that really important to me again.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's actually the two songs I had written down too.
Okay.
That I would like to hear a bit more about. Like, how did you write and record music back then?
Back then we practiced songs, and there was the studio. So we practiced songs. We made an album, and then we had the arrangement with Crucial Response Records. We booked the studio, went in there for a weekend, and we just record the songs, and that's the way we worked. It was really easy that way. Nothing really special, actually.
Efficient.
Efficient, yeah. I mean, you pick up I wrote the lyrics, picked up a guitar, wrote riffs. The other guys did some riffs. We went into the practice room, and then we built the songs together. And I put on the voice, and that's how the songs came together.
Yeah, a lot of straight edge bands playing tonight. What does straight edge mean to you?
To me, straight edge means a clean lifestyle, to free of substance that can blur your mind, so you have a clear mind of how to you can develop yourself better on a clear mind than a clouded mind. So for me, straight edge is it's not an end point for me. Straight edge is actually not that great. It's just a step to develop your life on. So if you just are straight edge and be in the straight edge scene and consume t-shirts, have a big record collection, I think your mind is still polluted by that. But you have to be free of substances, and yeah, that's for me. It was a great way of living, because I have a personality to take everything extreme. So when I right now doing sports, it has to be not a little bit, it has to be extreme. So even back when I was 13, 14 years old, I started drinking. It had to be extreme. So out of protecting myself, straight edge was a great idea to survive my youth. And so yeah, that's basically, and also I think seeing in the hardcore scene, we talk about revolution and being different, but what does society expect from young people? They party, they drink, they smoke. And I think, yeah, I want out of this society. I want to be not being different, but I saw a lifestyle. I don't want to be part of it. But everybody in the punk scene are doing the same as the other kids at my school. You know, they had slogans on their back. You listen to different music, you listen to different bands, but your behavior is exactly the same as the people you are against. So then came straight edge along, and that was the first time I really thought, okay, this is something, this is real change. From here on, I can start my journey to change first myself and then make an example. Rats? Okay. So yeah, that's basically what straight edge for me.
Yeah, you mentioned the scene. From your point of view, how is the straight edge scene doing today?
I don't know. There's this young band starting now. No way. It's the son of our bass player. They are some straight edge kids, but I think it's really dead. But on the other side, I think straight edge was a scene that was a reaction on the whole punk thing in the 80s, in the 90s. And I think, the younger people are starting to do something new themselves and not doing something what already happened in the past. And they have to find out their own way in it. And maybe when they find straight edge, it would be great. But I don't know if there's right now the need of a straight edge scene. I see it more on I think a lot of people. It would be good for a lot of people when they're turning straight edge, but as a movement, I'm not really clear about it. If it's anything right now, what would make a difference?
Yeah, like we talked, the pandemic cut the reunion kind of short, and a lot of things happened. From your point of view, how has the underground music scene bounced back in Netherlands?
It's really rare. Everything was closed. Everything was down. So I don't know, but I see in my city there's this really young punk scene and new bands starting up. So, and I don't know really if it's happened in that time that people starting to be active or doing something, but something good came out for it. And maybe it's something because I'm 52, cannot really relate to what kids 16 or 18 are saying now. They have their own problems, but I really like it to see something's happening, something people are active again. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, we are of course celebrating Refuse Records 30th anniversary, which is amazing, and the 3-day festival here in Berlin.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on Refuse Records?
I think Robert I really like the effort he puts in it, the passion, supporting bands, the touring he did. So I really have respect for what he is doing. And I mean, I backed out like 50 years ago already, but seeing him still enthusiastic about putting out bands, this festival, doing the touring, I love the guy. And maybe I'm not supporting him that much by buying his records or something, but just seeing him, what he is doing, it's amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned that this might be it for Mainstrike, but are you sure? What are your thoughts on the future of Mainstrike?
I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, for now it's okay. Maybe, we'll see in the future. When I think about it, like now I'm 52, and maybe in 10 years you're 62. I don't know if I still want to do that or something different. I mean, but I never say it won't happen, because you'll never know what will happen in your life or in the future. I think life is not like a line, but it's going down and up, and then so maybe in 5 years something will happen and we'll play again. I mean, let the future be the future, and we'll see.